Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. Everyone else, thank you for coming back and watching this episode of Parkinson's and Our Mental Health. A lot has happened the last few weeks that brought about this episode, and I know you're going to want to hear all about it. But also, in the third part of the video, we'll have some tips for caregivers on how to assist their person with Parkinson's mental health and to help them out a little bit. I know you will want to hear all about it, so let's get right to it. This episode is all based on personal experience during the month of May this year that was extremely difficult to get through. May is a busy month for me as I have 2 anniversaries that pop around every year. The first one was my 7th year anniversary of Parkinson's disease, and I don't know why this one hit me so hard, but it did. And the second one is the loss of our son, which was 2 years ago. And that was difficult to kind of wade through as well. What was happening was, for some reason, for the 2 anniversary events, I was reliving all of the emotions that were involved in what happened in each one. I relived them so hard that the anxiety was able to take over. Parkinson's and anxiety go hand in hand. And when your anxiety gets ramped up, like mine did, it kind of takes over. It was like I was watching myself from the outside, almost like a deja vu kind of thing going on. It was so intense, and his presence was just always there. I lost entire days of productivity. Like I lost 5 or 6 days due to anxiety, and I couldn't break it. It was like I was a prisoner in my own body, and I knew I wasn't upset enough for this to happen. So I started to think, okay, is this Parkinson's symptoms, or is this like due to mild cognitive impairment? Because I was also diagnosed with MCI, mild cognitive impairment. Stress and anxiety play havoc with both situations. They play havoc with the Parkinson's disease, and they also play havoc with the MCI. And it's a full body experience, and I can't let the anxiety take control. I can't wake up in the morning feeling good and going, oh, what am I supposed to be upset about again? And then just have everything come crashing in 5 minutes after I've woken up because I don't feel normal because I'm not upset. Well, being upset 24 hours a day isn't normal at all. If I keep letting that happen, then my Parkinson's symptoms will accelerate, and then everything I worked for will just go backwards and be ruined. I feel that the biggest non-motor symptoms that I fight against are depression, apathy, fatigue, and anxiety. And sometimes I just want to hit back at them. Who's with me? Let's go! I'm constantly battling against each of them every day, as I'm sure many of you are as well. I have to watch my expectations and guard against my emotional triggers. When I am upset or I'm not doing very well, I like to jam as many things as humanly possible into my schedule. And if I don't get them all done, then I just come down hard on myself. And that's a bad habit that I really do need to break, because that's how I used to deal with emotional pain and anxiety in the past. I would try to distract myself as much as possible by just completing tasks, doing things around the house or running errands or whatever it is. But these days I can't keep up with the productivity levels that make me happy. So I come down hard on myself when I don't perform what I feel I should be performing. And that's just something I've got to change. It's totally backwards. But I used to get so many things done. So I was like, yay, I'm upset today. I can get things done. But it doesn't work that way anymore. With my son being gone, sometimes it feels like I've just lost a best friend. He was someone I would talk to every week and share things with. And if you didn't know, he's basically the reason this channel exists. It was his insistence that I start this that triggered the whole creation of Life with Parkinson's. What I really need to do is just make a list of the things that trigger an emotional reaction or upset me when I encounter them, and just find coping mechanisms. to deal with them so I don't get so upset and I don't let the anxiety get control. So that's something I'm going to do. I mean, it's life. Stressful situations happen. It's just part of being alive. It's normal. A few days ago, I had a fall in the bathroom, which really just came out of nowhere. And it upset me quite a bit because I was just getting over the stress of May. Like, I was just nearing the end. I was almost there. It was almost like, celebrate good times. Come on. Kiwi likes to go with me wherever I go around the house, and I mean everywhere. And she comes with me to the bathroom because she just wants to be around me. So I was shaving that day, and I put her on the upper towel rack in the bathroom, and I shaved and finished up. And I went to pick her up, and she doesn't like to be picked up with wet fingers, and she often will check my fingers before I pick her up in the bathroom, but I had already wiped them, so I thought I was okay. So she took a little nibble, and I went, ouch, and then my blood pressure just dropped really quick, like one of those orthostatic hypertension moments, and I fell backwards and landed into the toilet. Hard enough that I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go see somebody. And thankfully that afternoon there was an opening in physio, so I got a ride over there from my in-laws and had my back taped up, as you can see in the picture. And thankfully there's no damage. They were able to check it with a tuning fork, but it's just like when you think you're almost there, something might come in and just pull you back and say, okay, it wasn't time to relax just yet. Don't get ahead of yourself, Dave. We've got a little bit of stress to play out yet. Okay, part 3, tips for caregivers. And if you have Parkinson's, you should probably watch this also, because if your caregiver ever goes, how can I help you deal with stressful situations? You can be like, there are these tips that I heard about. And there's a link to them in the description below if you want to check them out for further information. Offer help only when asked. So if your person with Parkinson's is trying to struggle through something, if they're like me, I kind of like to try as much as I can and then ask for help when I need it. I still want to be able to feel that I can do things. Prompt the person when asking them for a question. So be a little bit more specific. Instead of saying, did anyone call? Just ask them specific names of people that you think might have called. Did Bob, Jim, Sally, Nancy, did they call? It just helps them find the words a little bit more quickly. And when you're doing that, say the name of the person and make eye contact with your partner, just so it helps them concentrate and not get distracted. If you're using reminder notes, put them in prominent places where your PWP will see them. Okay, this next one is probably one of the most important ones for me because I'll be running around the house going, hey, Haley, where's the scissors? Where are the scissors? She knows what I mean. So if you're putting stuff in the regular place, keep it in the regular place all the time, because I know that frustrates me because it's like, I know it's supposed to be here. Where is it? So, and when you use that thing, put it back. So your person with Parkinson's, me, won't go nuts and be like, am I going crazy? I know it was here. Okay, here's a handy one, but one I wouldn't have thought of. Instead of using names on your cell phone contact list, use pictures of people as well. That's just an easier way to trigger our memory. A lot of times, us people with Parkinson's will like stumble over a word or try. Sometimes word recognition is hard, so it might be hard for us to complete a sentence. I left the hammer in the... Instead of just pulling names and words out of the air, suggest something like, well, I think what you're looking for starts with the letter G. And be like, oh yeah, in the garage. That just might be a way just to help them pull out those words that are sometimes difficult to find. Going along with that, don't try to finish their sentences too quickly. If someone's always finishing our sentences, I know I find that very frustrating, so it's possible a person with Parkinson's might find that frustrating as well. A lot of the times in group situations, a person who's struggling to keep up might fall farther behind and just get so frustrated that they just disinvolve themselves from any group conversation. So we don't want that to happen. Just give us a little time to catch up. And as a caregiver, asking questions just to slow things down might provide just the opportunity for a person with Parkinson's that opportunity to catch up. And this is a good one that I never thought of. If you're making a list of things to do for your person with Parkinson's, Talk about them first, then write them down on the list, so there might be some way to associate that list with things they want to do. Having that pre-conversation just might get someone like me a little bit more involved in the list and provide that motivation to get it done. Okay, those are my tips. If you have others, please let me know or leave a comment, a question below on anything in this episode. Thank you for taking this journey together. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this channel with your friends. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.